Hello guys, in today's video we will be talking about what James Gunn should be doing in his new DCU with The Flash. Alright, anyways, let's get into it. So, the first question we should be asking, like, what version of The Flash should we be using in the DCU in the movies? Well, although there are multiple multiple versions, the main two we know are Barry and Wally. So I'd say I'd have a personal bias though, because I love the CW show of The Flash, which featured Barry Allen, obviously. But thinking past that, I think Wally West has had his time in the limelight recently with all the animated movies and shows and stuff. And I'd say Barry would be a good start to the Flash movies, as like he has like way more cooler stories like to adapt into the movies. And I'd say since he like is a more experienced Flash, like we could easily, rather than doing an origin story, just start off with him like being experienced already. So that way, in the future, we can introduce Wally eventually. Since we can essentially just do both in the movies, so we can set up the future. Anyways, now that we picked up Flash, like how should James Gunn portray Barry Allen in the movies? So, with with the recent like uprise in marketing for like James Gunn's DCU, the first like actual DCU movie in his universe will be Superman, obviously. And I can't wait for the Superman, honestly. But anyways, I think honestly we should just skip the rookie side of Barry Allen, because maybe maybe we could tell his origin as like a little recap for whoever hasn't seen like the CW shows, because we've had the CW show for the last 10 whole years, and James Gunn is going for a fresh new take on everything, right? So which I which I agree he should be doing. So I think we should like get an I mean I think we are getting an experienced Superman, which would make sense since we have like the old GLA members already established, as we saw in Creature of Commanders and the newest Peacemaker trailer. Also, I didn't mean like an experienced Superman, but like we ain't getting like the backstory, the origin story. Like it's already established. Even Lois Lane knows who Superman is. Anyways, if James Gunn does like I'm not sure if he's gonna be the one directing the Flash movie. We're not too. I doubt it. I doubt he's gonna be doing it himself. It'd be cool if he has an input into it though. But whoever does direct the Flash movie, I think they should like avoid using any speedsters, as it's kind of hard to master, and you could easily screw that up for a first movie. So honestly, for the first movie, I think they should be a bit basic, not to be like that bland, but like they could easily make a good movie with, for example, the Rogues Gallery in the Flash comics. I honestly think that could go really well. And if James Gunn is going to be making this movie, I highly doubt he's going to be directing it. But James Gunn has like showed that he can do characters like the Rogues. For example, in a Peacemaker show, like those like anti-villain type characters, he could do that. And a Suicide Squad. Also, I really think a lot of the Rogues are kind of like anti heroes, like for example Captain Cold. I mean, I'm not too into the comics. I've only started getting into it now. But from what I've seen in the show, the CW show, is Captain Cold's kind of like he plays both sides. He's still like a badish person, but he has some morals. Like he won't kill someone like for no a reason. Like the only way he would kill someone is if like his family's in danger or something. So yeah, James Gunn should definitely do the Rogues as the first film, and I'd say they don't need to do all of them. They only need to do like two, three of them at most, even. But I think they should totally avoid the Flashpoint, because if they even touch the Flashpoint after what happened in that last Flash movie, oh my god, it's just a set up for disaster, in my opinion. And they could easily tease Wally West in the post-credit scene, but I think they should just stick with a solo Flash, no Flash team, just like a solo, a bit of an experienced Flash, not too experienced, but he's started out his Flash career, if that makes sense. So we could easily get him on an arc that, with a few of the rogues, and potentially post credit scene we could even get the reverse Flash eventually. But the first movie, I think they should completely avoid it and just do a little setup rather than getting straight into it, because we've had the reverse Flash for like 10 years. And even the reverse Flash, they don't need to do the reverse Flash straight away. They could easily do. Actually, no. I say we leave Zoom for now. Um, the comics version, at least. I mean, I love Zoom in the show, but he's not completely, but he's mostly different from the comics version. So I'd say we definitely do Reverse Flash first before Zoom. But yeah, I'd say we could easily tease him in the post-credit scene. The first movie be a Rogues movie, and the plot could easily be, oh, just I'm gonna take Central City because, for example, the show and in the show it's Central City, Leonard Snart, he thinks Central City is playground. They could easily do like a little plot point like that, or they could do something bigger, bigger. But I'd say Rogue would be a good start since the Flash is a really hard character to get down in live action, at least. The show mastered it for 4 seasons and then they absolutely flopped. So this is gonna be a hard task for James Gunn. I could tell it is, because if I was him, I'd be shitting my pants if I had to do the Flash in live action, because it's a hard character to master the plot, and because he's overpowered as hell. Like, to fit him into the story, they're gonna have to like downgrade him a lot, but they can't do it to a point where like, bro, what is this shit? Like, he could easily take that guy. I mean, there will be some moments like that, but like, oh, it's a civilian that punches him and he gets punched. Like, they can't do it to that point. But they do have to do it to a point, or he's gonna be like one-shotting every character. Like, how are the rogues even able to defeat the Flash or like get him on his on his feet? Like, imagine Leonard Snart, he just throws a rock or shoots his gun. His I forgot the name of it. Freezer. There's probably a actual name for it, but he should be able to like just dodge it rather than getting hit by it and frozen in place, because he's faster than a bullet, right? But yeah, that's the thing with the Flash. They're gonna have to really downgrade him, and when they do the Reverse Flash, um, I'd say they would tease him at the end of this movie, the first movie, in a post-credit scene, and then the second movie, I'd say they go for it, because he's one of the biggest and probably one of the best villains of the Flash, and actually they could easily do Gorilla Grodd, I'd say, because he's a great character and he wouldn't be he's easier than Reverse Flash, I'd say, to do. Obviously it's still a hard character to do, but they could easily do Gorilla Grodd, and I know I've been just like yapping away. Some parts I'm repeating, but yeah, that's my take on what James Gunn should do. Um, you could put me on as director, but yeah, I'd probably make it the movie flop. But those are my ideas on what James Gunn should do, and that's it from me. I know I haven't uploaded in like a jillion years, but this is something, and I know I'm saying "and" a lot, but the quality of these videos will go up. This mostly wasn't scripted, so that's why I'm kind of just yapping and yapping away. But anyways, I'm gonna try to make at least one video a week now, because I've got time now. I've got a lot of time on my hands. Sorry for that voice crack. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Subscribe and like for a cookie. Bye.